SDG is the last hope that we have to have a sustainable world.
The region will have to understand that the long-term challenges on Earth, whether it's climate change, whether it's peace, whether it's equity, that these are systemic and structural issues that needs to be addressed. And we need to look at how we exist on Earth collectively rather than in fragmented silos.
Sustainable Development Goals are sending us a clear message that economic and environmental well-being are indivisible.
Financing is the catalyst. All of this will mean something more if we can truly democratize the capital markets so that a woman sitting in Laos, a woman sitting in Laos, can be actually growing her business by getting some funding for, say, someone sitting in Bangladesh and Hassan sitting in Bangladesh and basically being able to be the investor. So it really is everyone becomes an investor, everyone becomes an entrepreneur.
Making use of ICT as the vehicle, leveraging it, and coming up with all these infrastructure and innovative solutions. To me, that's the key.
Access to reliable, cheap energy. Cheap because everyone should be able to afford it, regardless of where they work. And also clean because it has to be, you have to ensure that emission of carbon dioxide is cut short.
The government, especially the politicians, they should make a commitment to implement this sustainable development goal by ensuring disaster risk reduction and the climate change adaptation issue in the development plan.
For me, the most important goal for Asia and Pacific is Goal 13, taking action against climate change. Climate change is now affecting every country on every continent, with the most impacted being the poor and vulnerable.
The sustainability and the health of the environment is very much related to the health and the well-being of the nation. I mean, Maldives as a low-lying country and a country which is dependent on fisheries and tourism sector. We rely on the environment and its natural resources very much. I think we should team up to save the environment right now, or it'll be too late tomorrow.
Most of cities in the Asia-Pacific are very prone to extreme climate events, which will affect the most vulnerable communities and worsen the impact of urbanizations. With proper planning by prioritizing climate change in the city agenda, I believe the city government, together with all its stakeholders, will be able to create a resilience.
We have to look at consumption patterns at a global level where we need an absolute reduction in material throughput and energy use, but we also have to look at national levels, and very important, we have to start looking at different stakeholder groups like youth, and we have to be looking at our cities because this is the thriving hub of the economy.
Most important thing is not only to provide a kind of enough water to the people, but to have a safe water to the people, especially on the sanitation improvement. That's very important. So that the sanitation improvement also should not be only the sanitation with toilets, but sanitation with toilet and the treatment system.
Access to clean and affordable water just means that people will be healthier, and when you have healthy people, you improve your livelihoods, and people are more active and around the community. And so if you have an active community, this is a great chance for people to adapt to changes of climate change.
We need to be the main promoters of sport and healthy lifestyle because it's the best weapon against non-communicative diseases.
What I feel is healthy life is very much important in today's time, because in this past life, nobody is able to take care of his healthy life.
Ideally, we'll see parity between men and women, not just in terms of social welfare, but also in terms of workforce, in terms of politics, in terms of the economic participation of women.
Girls are still damaged by harmful practices and forced early and child marriage. Every young girl should have an access to education and sexual and reproductive health to fulfill their potentials.
The region has been really successful on some fronts in eradicating gender inequality, but I really feel that they need to improve, for example, the sectors that they reach out to. So in particular, my point of view is always to focus on the youth, because the youth, as I have proven now, can really make a difference and make a stand on their own when they're given the opportunities to present their opinions and to do what their power enables them to.
Everyone needs education, especially women with disability. If they have good education, they will have a good job or good income.
The key for socio-economic development is the ability to unleash the creative potential of our children through a high-quality educational system, through having strong science and technology institutions, through having an ecosystem where innovation is promoted, and through having linkages with industry and agriculture.
From CGM school. I want every girl child to be educated like me.
I believe that any issue in the world can be tackled with education if you provide a child with the right amount of skills, with the right amount of exposure and education. That broadens the perspective of a child, and he looks at things differently, and that helps him become a leader himself. And so all these other things that we worry about can be tackled if we create leaders like these.
The whole point of SDG for us is no one left behind. Even if we cannot see or cannot hear, we have vision and we have voice.
Democracy and good governance are complementary. Peace, sustainable peace. Peace at home, which is actually one of the major goals of the sustainable SDGs.
We need to make sure that data reflects the reality on the ground. We need to enhance the social protection system and make sure that it encompasses all realms and segments of the population. We are the bear holders of this agenda. The time to act is now.
A successful sustainable development agenda can only take place when both the private sector and the public sector, of course with the civil society, work together to achieve these sustainable development goals. For this we need partnerships at all levels.
The Escap should display some kind of roadmap for all these countries, a kind of menu that they can provide, and out of these menus, some countries can provide, can do better on this, better on that, so that they can be very selective in terms of achieving whatever the priority they have.
Not one island nation can survive or can do anything by itself. So in the past years, we've worked closely with other governments, and we truly believe that by working together with the other governments, we can somehow pursue this further, pursue the agenda of conserving water and advocating for mitigation options for climate change, especially for our region, because we know that we are definitely a few disasters away from being extinct.
It's incumbent upon the Asia-Pacific community to demonstrate how we could achieve the SDGs using science, technology and innovation. But there's one gap though that we need to realize. For most of the countries, the developing countries in this region, we lack capacity, we lack the skill, we lack the know-how. So we need to build on that so that individual countries could be more prepared in addressing the challenges of the SDG.
Asia has a key to attain sustainability of the world. But Asia lacks good governance in that sense to promote sustainability agenda, and also basic resources needed for that. And now world is really committed to this, and more funding, more technologies, and more capacity building opportunities are going to be created, and therefore Asia should grasp these opportunities to make itself more sustainable.
We want education for all.